And today, the story continues with the workers who built the computer in a child's room, the engineers who designed the communications satellite that silently rotates with the Earth, shining in the sunlight against the blackness of space, and the men and women of skill and determination who helped to put American footprints on the moon. In a few moments, 14 Americans will become the first recipients of the National Technology Awards, and you are heroes.
President Reagan championed innovation and technological progress during the 1980s. So from your perspective at the time, and looking back from today's vantage point, much later, of course, how do you see the Reagan administration's support of the tech industry? How did it affect things? Did it affect your own work at Apple?
When people ask, have you ever had any awards? That's always like the first one that comes out. So it was very important, and it was like a new thing. It was like getting the National Science Award or something. And a lot of people heard about it and respected it and said, oh my gosh, maybe if I do some great things, I can get that award someday. So I think it actually did spur advances in technology just by having the award.
Well, the interview we're conducting today has many Apple products that are actually a key part of the technology behind how we're doing this interview. And you famously built the Apple I and Apple II. By the way, I had an Apple II growing up as a kid. At what point did you realize that making computers user-friendly, something you originally did for yourself, could become a business that would change the world?
The fact is, when I was in high school, taught myself to design computers. You couldn't find a book on it, even in a scientific bookstore like Kepler's in Palo Alto. You couldn't find a bookstore talking about computer design. I taught myself. I was so proud of it. Something I loved doing. It was my passion for life. It was a deep goal in mine to have a computer for myself, but that also meant user-friendly. And I just thought out, it's so nice to type something and see a response from a computer right in front of you, and then eventually build your own computer onto it. I knew that my designs were so far ahead of what other people were trying that we would have a successful business of our own. But my intent was not to create an industry. My intent was not to create a company. It was just to get my computer designs out to the world, and I wanted, more than anything else, engineers to look over my designs on paper and say, whoa, see the genius that was in them. That was my big motivation.